Welcome back into McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Hour number 3 underway. About to be joined by the coach Wimp Sanderson. Get his thoughts on Alabama's matchup with Michigan tomorrow night in the Sweet 16. But before we head there, it's at Train because flu season is still hanging around and pollen season is here as well. So make your home healthier with Train's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner, effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. So go find a dealer near you online today at train.com.
He joins us each and every Thursday at this hour. Thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. It's the coach, Wimp Sanderson. 16. How you feeling?
Hey, NIT is teams that got over in one, and really knock off me anymore. It wasn't a ball game, and then they Illinois State had to go big name team in the NFL on the second on ESPN. So anyway, switching to the NCAA, you're looking at the 4 teams from the SEC gotten in there. 6 teams lost out. 6 out of the 10 did not make even the final 16. But Arkansas and Texas are in the West. Y'all can ask me anything you want to. I think the Arkansas-Arizona game, when I say this, most of our fans will disagree. I think Arizona beats them and beats the line. Now, I know they got the great little player, Arkansas does, but I think Arizona does a good job. Tommy Lawler does a good job of defending. And I think the little A-Cuff guys is very, very good. But I think Arizona, I don't know if they beat the line or not, but I think Arizona wins the game.
I do have a question about going back to the NIT conversation that you had coming out the gate.
Sure.
What's kind of the mindset that you have as a coach in a situation like that? Because you are upset that you're not in the big dance, but how do you still get the best out of your players to compete, even though it's not where you essentially want to be?
That is a good question. It's sometimes like the SEC tournament. If you think you've got a chance to go to the beach with your girlfriend, you don't want to play. You feel like you're second fiddle because you're playing in the NIT, and you've already had one kid from Auburn who didn't want to participate at all. And I think it's hard. I think it's difficult. The best thing you can do is mind read with your best players, and get your best players to realize. Now, a little bit different this time in that they're going to be in Indianapolis at the same time the Final Four is in the NCAA tournament. So that makes it a little bit better. But you do have a hard time at times when you think you're second fiddle and a little bit. And if you want, when I was coaching, boy, we played Lou Carnesecca and St. John's and beat them once, and it's a big deal. But I think the NIT has gone down some, and I think you do have a hard time, and sometimes you don't realize it. Most of the time you do, but sometimes you got to get your players to help the other players buy in, so you'll play hard. But I think it's true. I think sometimes when you get to SEC, but the reason we were so good in the SEC tournament was because that we made a big deal out of it, and we had good players. It wasn't me. We had good players, and we made a big deal out of it. You got a ring and that kind of thing, and so that made it good for us. So prior to that, you got to be ready to play. If you're not ready to play, you're not going to do any good. So,
Coach,
anyway, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I had a question for you, and I don't, you don't have to weigh in on Nate Oates or any of the specific coaches. I just, from your perspective, because you've been around college basketball for so long, I just wanted, what's your perspective on the North Carolina job now that Hubert Davis has been let go and that job's open? Is that a top 5 job in college basketball? Is that one of those jobs that it'd be hard to turn down? Do you still view it as that way? Just kind of your overall perspective on
Well, Nate,
North Carolina.
I'll answer your question with Nate. Nate Oates is not going to get it, or take either one. I can answer that for the Alabama fans if they're worried about that. That's not going to be. He's not going.
Well, thank you, Coach. I think a lot of people appreciate you saying that.
No, it's not going. That's not going to happen. So anyway, and I won't get into stuff, but I think the Athletic. He won 70% of his games. Won the last shot to beat Duke once this year. There are other things behind the scenes. Sometimes the athletic directors. I don't know that football had gone south for them. And when football goes a little bit south, and your basketball, you think it's gone south because it's not real consistent. Then you get all nervous as the athletic director, so you think you made a change. The one thing that people have to understand: when you fire, guess what? You've got to hire, and you better be darn sure that you know who you'd like to have, or have a commitment from somebody that knows that coach, not you. I may not call you and ask you, but I may get my buddy to call you who knows you and ask you if you'd be interested in the job if the North Carolina job came open. And that way I would know as the athletic director whether you're interested or not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about going to the pros, to the pro guys. The guy that was at Florida for so long. They've always gone. They wanted to fire Roy Williams, and Roy Williams was a heck of a basketball coach there. I went through the Dean Smith era and Roy Williams too. So I think you have to be careful when you get all out of sorts with somebody. If a player doesn't like it, not all players are going to love you. The biggest problem you have is money now, and you have playing time, and playing time affects everybody. You'd never get enough playing time, and so whatever happened there, I don't know behind the scenes what happened, but I think to answer your question, North Carolina is known for its basketball. It has dropped down a little bit maybe over the Dean Smith, Roy Williams years, and they've had a couple of guys in there that didn't do a good job, got fired. But I don't think they can go to it, and I know that Larry Brown thought it was terrible. I'm not sure that. Well, I can't answer it because I don't know, but I think they're not going. The boy at Arizona's not going to take the job. He's got a job just as good as that one or better. So I don't have an answer as to who they're going to hire. But when you get ready to hire, if you are the athletic director, you better be darn sure you're hiring the right person.
Here with the Coach Wimp Sanderson, presented by our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. Coach, looking at the Sweet 16, who do you think is the best team of the field right now going into some of these matchups?
Arizona. I think Arizona beats Arkansas. I think Arizona has the best chance to win it. I'm going to tell you something I also liked. I like Nebraska. When you have a team with a football atmosphere, the way Nebraska has been for years, and Alabama falls into this category. So, do you guys realize that? I don't know if you saw the game or not. That these people at Nebraska who'd never won a game and were really fired up at their back, drove 6.5 hours to that game.
Oh, I think they're going to pack it out tonight, Coach, in Houston.
Yeah, why, sure. They drove 6.5 cotton picking hours to that game, and when I looked at the SEC tournament, we were good. We had good crowds at the SEC, especially in Birmingham, and we lost in Birmingham some, but we were in the final game 9 out of 12 years, and we didn't just run it over with people. I may watch Alabama. They're playing tonight, so it went. But for Nebraska to do what they've been able to do, that should be. The Nebraska people should be really thrilled about that. I think Duke St. John's tomorrow night is going to be good. I think both teams. You have a tendency not to like Duke or St. John's, either one. So in some cases, so Houston playing Illinois tomorrow night is a little bit closer to home. So Houston does. I'm just yakking now, so y'all stop me now.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
Houston does not draw a lot of money. You're going to say to me, "Oh, Houston will get all kind of." They don't.
Kelvin Sampson said that the other day.
Yeah, they just don't. I don't know if Kelvin's ever said that or not, but they don't get a lot of money. And so Texas, Is playing Purdue. I'm jumping back around to Purdue. 7.5 point favorite Purdue is. I don't know the gambler with the lines there. I don't know about the line there, but guy does a really good job of coaching. I think Arkansas getting sent to where they got sent was a little bit ridiculous. But anyway, they got Arizona. I don't think Arkansas wins. Alabama and Michigan. Alabama's very, very good. Michigan is too. 10.5 points is a lot of points. I'd be hard to not take the 10.5 or whatever it is against Michigan. And Michigan is well coached, big, strong, physical, shoots a three, defends a three, all those kinds of things. Tennessee and Iowa State. I think y'all Iowa State's 3.5 point favorite. Tennessee's good inside. Don't shoot many threes. We'll see what happens there. So ask me what else you want to ask me, and I'll try to answer it.
So out of a lot of those games, because you told us you like Arizona over Arkansas, so I don't think you would go there. But in terms of, okay, let's just say this, between the other one seeds, so you got St. John's and Duke and Alabama, Michigan, you touched on those. Which one of those is a more likely upset for you, St. John's or Alabama?
Oh, I would say St. John's maybe.
Okay.
I don't know that Alabama. The last time that Alabama played Duke in a game, Duke quick switched everything, and I was glad to see Alabama not have to play Duke because they
It didn't go
switched
well
all the
last year,
time.
Coach.
No, and it didn't go very well. So they think they can beat you. Anytime you think you can beat somebody, you got a better chance to beat them. So anyway, that's sort of the way it is. You got the 4 games tonight. You got the 4 games tomorrow night, and Texas Purdue is going to start off, and I don't know what else I can say to you. The situation at Alabama with the kid being out, he's not going to be playing. Um, maybe people say, well, he's not. Well, it doesn't hurt him defensively. The kid can really shoot the basketball very, very well, and when you've got 3 shooters rather than 4, the defense defends you a little bit better because one more good shooter really helps you, and they don't have that. Alabama doesn't, but Michigan's darn good, and they guys done a really good job before he ever got to Michigan. So we'll see. So it should be interesting. Maybe a little bit surprised that 6 teams got knocked out of going to the final 16. Four gets in, and Midwest and West, and the rest of them got knocked out. We had 2 teams that got knocked out in the first game, Missouri and Georgia. Both got knocked out. Didn't even play the one game in the NCAA, and they were 88 out the gate. So the rest of them got beat in the second game. Getting to the final 16 is not easy. You say, well, the guy got to the final 8, the final 4 is big, yeah, but getting to the final 16, it's all according to your draws. And they tell you something now. Every team, every game takes on its own personality. You have to, all you have to do is just play poorly, and you're 88 now at the gate in one game. You play poorly in NBA, you got 6 more. You got 6 more games to be able to correct that one game that you got beat. And so it is, one and done is a hard thing to swallow. And I went through not many one and dones, but I had a couple one and dones in the 12 times that I went, 10 or 12 times I went to NCAA. So it's not easy, that's for sure.
And Coach, a final question. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this Alabama-Michigan matchup because it does seem like, at least Vegas is telling you that Michigan is the better basketball team. But how do you think that Alabama could possibly pull off an upset against Michigan tomorrow night?
I think if Alabama shoots it well, and the one thing that people forget, we talk about shooting the 3 and making them. We don't talk about defending the 3. If I were coaching again, I'd work my fanny off not only shooting it but defending it. And I think Michigan is bigger and stronger than Alabama inside. And here's what it comes down to, and nobody will pay into. It's going to come down to the rebounding. Can Michigan get second and third shots after missed shots? Can they get it off the board, put it back in, get another 3? And can they get more shots offensively than Alabama does. Can they hold Alabama? Can they hold Alabama to a one and done? Not every time, but Alabama gets a couple of shots and Michigan pulls a rebound, they don't get another shot. The rebounding in this game, you look at this, you look when you look at this game, and next time on you can correct me. You look at this game, and the idea of the rebounding will have a big factor in the basketball game. Let me tell you something else that has a big. People don't think about this. Defending the dribbler. You have to be able to defend the dribbler. Now, Fallon is going really well with a dribble drive and going over screens, and he does good. Michigan will have a guy that will defend him pretty darn good. So, but you have to defend the dribbler and you have to rebound. And those two factors, when you look at it for your shows tomorrow or whenever, you look at the stats on the rebounding and try to study how they defend the dribbler, and you'll get an idea who's going to win the game.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you hopping on. We know it's you brought to us by our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly.
Well, Coke and Piggly Wiggly, Stanley and Andy been great friends of mine. I'm a Piggly Wiggly guy. If you walk in, you'll walk out with great groceries. They'll do a great job with their meat. I've been around Piggly Wiggly people all my life. Stanley, who owns and runs Piggly Wiggly, used to go to my games and sit on my bench. So I'm in with them. And Coca-Cola is a great product too. So anyway, appreciate you guys.
Thank you,
having
Coach.
me on, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
Yes, sir. You have a good one, Coach. That's the Coach Wimp Sanderson on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services, and he's brought to us each and every week by our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly.
So there you go. Arizona is going to beat Arkansas, and those are the two definitive things that we heard from.
He stood on that,
Coach.
too.
Yeah, he made because I didn't want to outright ask him because
he beat you to the punch. He's like, no, don't even worry about it.
He did. No, and I appreciated that because he knew I wanted to ask it. So I appreciate him just coming out and saying it.
Rest assured, baby. Rest assured. We'll break down some more of the Sweet 16 on the other side here from you, 205-834-9450. Keep it locked right here. Back in queue. 922 here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damian, Conrad, and John here with you. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know who this one is. Oh man. Oh,
Beginning, too busy laughing at Aaron Judge.
yeah. Sorry, Conrad. But Hurricane. I know you don't know who that is. Gregory Helms is his name.
Natural disaster. That's
No, that was earlier. That was earthquake and typhoon.
I'll figure it out. I'll get there.
No, we appreciate it, man. If you missed hour number 2, I just, again, it's my fault because I assumed that we all were, just hanging out. Like we all watched wrestling growing up. I was unprepared to know that Conrad Van Order was not a big wrestling guy. Just was not his cup of tea. It's not his thing. I respect it.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to hold it. Like, I
appreciate that. A lot of other people are.
I think openly listening to Playboy Cardi is worse than not knowing wrestling. Like, that is something that's a decision.
I don't listen to that as much anymore.
But the fact that it was even in the rotation of like, hey, man, this
got some bangers, man.
Whatever, FTL.
No, like, at least.
See, exactly.
No,
that's the ultimate trump card is.
No. Over Playboy Cardi? No, don't be disrespectful. But no, Conrad, he wrestling is not his expertise, and the foundation in which he had of wrestling was very, very diverse, and it was very just interesting. But yeah, go back to hour number 2, and we'll get to the Jocks text line a little bit later. But it was very entertaining. It was very entertaining to say the least. But we got a chance to hear from the coach Wimp Sanderson as we kind of look towards the Sweet 16, and I kind of like his mindset was going, particularly with Alabama-Michigan. We know Alabama shoots the 3, but it's the defending of the 3 on the other side because we're so used to, or at least what Michigan has had success with, is actually kind of getting down on the block and getting kind of the old school way, feeding yaks and down there. But I think that, one, this may be a game. This may be a game that not having Aiden Holloway out there on the floor to kind of space it out some more.
It's not going to help.
It's not going to help, especially with a team like Michigan, who makes their, who's their bread and butter defensively, because they can score a lot of points. But one thing that they have success with is making it difficult for you on the defensive side. But again, it's one of those things where if Alabama gets hot, they can hang with anybody because they're going to put up an enormous amount of points that the opposition has to answer for. Because again, it's one of those things where it rolls. It can roll for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to. That's the path. If you're Alabama, you have to fill it up. There's no other way because you're not going to consistently. Now, not saying you can't win certain matchups down low, and Aiden Sherrill could go and have a great game. He's going to have a good game, both offensively and defensively. I think for Alabama to find a way to pull off the upset tomorrow, but it's going to come down to: are you able to get the open shots from 3? It's going to have to come. You're going to have to facilitate. You're going to have to make the extra pass. You're going to have to find a way. And if Notre Dame. If Michigan, if they decide that, hey, we're going to we're taking away the 3 and we're going to make you beat us with your 2s, that is the worst possible thing that could happen for Alabama. And so it is on them offensively to prevent Michigan from doing that because any good coach is going to. That's what the game plan is going to be, right? For Alabama, limit the amount of 3-point opportunities that they have. You saw that. I mean, going back again, last time you saw them lose in the SEC tournament to Ole Miss. That's what Ole Miss liked to do. They found a way to limit the amount of 3s that Alabama was able to get up. Now, Michigan, again, they can score with Alabama, and that's the other concern, too, is it's not necessarily like we've talked a lot about Houston and maybe like one of the Houston teams from past years where you go, man, defensively, they're so good, but if you get to a certain point threshold, they're probably not going to be able to keep up with you, whereas Michigan – they are going to be able to keep up with you. There. So for Alabama defensively, can you do what you did against Texas Tech in the sense of play really great defense on their guards and force the game to go through the big men, which that's going to be an advantage that Michigan has over you. But Michigan is not, I mean, technically Alabama is a better rebounding team than Michigan is, which is hard to believe. Now, the size of that may not be how it comes out on the box score on tomorrow night when the game's all said and done. But it feels like Alabama, you're going to have to continue to have that tenacity and that effort for 40 straight minutes. And it's just, can you keep up with Michigan? Because they're going to be able to keep up with what Alabama's doing. I don't think it's going to be a scenario like after the Texas Tech game where LeBaron Philon comes out in an interview and says, yeah, we saw, relatively early in that game, the players for Tech were, they're bending over, they're holding their knees, they're breathing heavy, like, oh, let's make this a track meet and it's game over. And it was. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case for you with Michigan there, but it's going to be a very tall task. Again, I don't think it's not insurmountable. We talked about it earlier in the week. I still like this matchup a little more favorably than Duke last year or UConn 2 years ago. It's not one of those where, to be honest with you, I had zero hope that Alabama was going to win either of those games. And I think most people would agree with that. Again, I'd still be at about a 25% chance for Alabama to pull off the victory, and that's maybe high compared to, what some analytics and things like that would tell you. But it's going to be incredibly difficult. You're going to need it from everybody. Philon's going to have more than 9 points.
Yes.
Millet's going to have to be big for you off the bench. You're going to need Reitzel's going to have one of those games, and he did the other night where he had 24 points, but he's going to need one of those games where he's hitting 5, 6, 7 3-pointers, I feel like, if Alabama's going to want to have a chance, because you don't have Aiden Holloway there to kind of help you out. And the other, another player for me that he's been so good for so much of the season, and it feels like the later parts of the season he started to regress a little bit, or he hasn't looked the same. It's like, what are you going to get out of a guy like Amari Allen?
Yeah.
Like, because he is so pivotal. And when Alabama was in that winning streak where, they were playing the best basketball of the entire season, he was such a big part of that. And he's a guy that, again, he's a freshman. This is going to be a tough opportunity for him. But, you just go and you look at, back when they were winning their games, he was regularly, a bad game for him was like 13 points and 8 rebounds. And now, okay, he had 12 against Texas Tech, 11 against Hofstra, but he had 5 against Ole Miss. He had 3 against Georgia. He had 2 against Tennessee. And these are on, he's shooting 30% on average in these games. And you can't have that. You're going to need everybody to be playing their best game. I know I've made a lot of jokes about him. We've all made a lot of jokes about him. Like, Noah Williamson is legitimately a person that you are going to need to contribute at a somewhat high level, I think, if you're going to find a way to win this basketball game. So it's not impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult. You have a little familiarity. You know Damari Burnett. He's a starter for Michigan. You've got some familiarity with him. Elliot Cadeau, who is the point guard for Michigan. Funny enough, if people remember, he was the starting point guard for North Carolina 2 years ago when Alabama upset them in the NCAA tournament as a 1 seed. He's now the starting point guard at Michigan. What did Alabama do in that game? Now, granted, it's a little different because you had Baycott in that game, and he had a night as a big there, and that might be what Yaxel Lindeborg does. But you saw Alabama in that game. They made a concerted effort of, okay, we're going to make y'all kill us with 3-pointers, and if y'all can hit them, and you'll win. And they didn't, and Alabama was able to squeak out a victory there. And so I wonder if you're going to have a little bit of a similar game plan. Now, he's a much better 3-point shooter now than he was. He's doubled his 3-point shooting percentage since he was a freshman at North Carolina. So he's
getting better.
Clearly taken that to heart and improved in that area. But you have a little familiarity with these guys and a couple of the guys on the roster. It's just going to be very interesting to see what kind of tenacity Alabama comes out with, because what you saw against Texas Tech is, I wouldn't say that's the norm for what you saw from Alabama this year, both defensively and how hot they started the game, because that's been a criticism, is they've had some slow starts in these games. If you have a slow start against Michigan, it could get ugly. That's where this game, I think the variance of how it could play out, like Michigan could beat the brakes off of Alabama. We saw them do it to Auburn. We've seen them do it to a lot of teams this year. But Alabama could also pull off an upset. I could also see Alabama keeping it within the number and losing an 8-point game, right? And where it's competitive, but, Michigan's just a little bit better. I feel like there's so much variance in it, and you're going to have to start off hot, and you're going to have to keep that intensity up for 40 minutes, and that's not going to be easy to do. But I will say the last 2 games for Alabama in the tournament, much like 2 years ago when they made it to the Final Four, the effort that you're seeing defensively has far surpassed what you saw for the majority of the regular season, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what separates them. And that's the thing about Alabama. When the reason they've had so much success this season is, okay, yeah, we know what they can do from the 3-point shot. It's those in-between games. Like, it's the offensive rebounding numbers that you see. It's been some of these other type of, I guess, avenues of winning that they're starting to now figure out, because, you don't have, not to say like the Baron Fine isn't that guy, but he's not a consistent 3-point threat for the system in which you run. Like, he can hit threes, but he's mostly a dribble drive guy. He doesn't mind getting to the mid range and kind of working you there. Where now you've got, like the Amari Allens, Houston Millettes that are, crashing the boards as guards. And even some of your big men now are starting to step out and do what they need to do. So I think, especially on the defensive side for Alabama, how many looks can you give Michigan to have them think a little bit? Like, so even if they slow the game down, like now they're searching for the shot instead of the play setting up for the shot. So I think that the more bodies that you can throw at Yaks, with some of the big men that you're going to need, because again, we've seen him at UAB. We knew when he made the transfer to Michigan, like, okay, if he clicks, he's going to be dominant. And he did nothing but, have success and turn that thing around. Well, continue the trend that he was on when he was at UAB up there in Michigan now. But it's, okay, how many times can we make him a little uncomfortable? If we're going to, and again, I don't think Yax's game is, stepping it out. He has the ability to stretch out and be a 3-point shooter. But if he has to settle for that shot, you consider that a win for Alabama defensively, as long as he's not hitting them at a high level.
Yeah, he had that game winner in the Big Ten championship that everyone went crazy about for
Right.
the deep three and stuff. But yeah, that's not his game. I kind of in conclusion of this game, we'll talk more about it tomorrow. I would say this for Alabama. I think the numbers for me, 15 plus 3-pointers. I think you're going to have to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Single digit turnovers. I think that's going to be really important. And if you out rebound Michigan, I think that's a sensational job, but you've got to keep it within, maybe Michigan has 45 rebounds and you have 41 or 42. Like, you're going to have to keep it within, I would say, a handful of rebounds if this game's going to be competitive. And they can do those things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not saying they can't. But it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, crazier things have happened. That's why we love March Madness. We also have around with pollen season coming too. Make sure your home is healthier with Train's Clean Effect Air Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles that cause allergy and virus than standard air filters, and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. Find a dealer near you at train.com. We'll take it to the Jocks text line when we return here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 9:38 here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damian, John, and Conrad here with you.
Are we still doing wrestling music?
Yep. This is an actor turn, or wrestler turned actor too.
Oh, The Rock.
No.
John Cena.
Still no.
Those are the only two I know.
Let me start it over and try again. Good job, guys. It's the Animal, Dave Bautista.
Oh, okay.
Was this like his early days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, I know I
when
walk
he was
along.
the Animal
Yeah, I remember I walk along.
and
That
had
was-
hair.
Boo.
Sidebar, he's actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. Like, I enjoy him.
Honestly,
Oh,
might
yeah.
be the best of
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's turned out to be a very good actor.
I mean, not that there's much competition, whatever, but
no,
right,
but
yeah.
correct.
No, like he doesn't just play himself in everything. Like he's actually
No.
like a very well.
Yeah, he's an actor, yeah.
But he was
And-
great. He was a great wrestler too.
I mean, I don't want to say kudos to The Rock for losing that way. I mean, he used to be all, kind of bulked up. He's kind of slimmed down
Yeah.
lately. But then I've seen the recent thing of him in the live action Moana, and it just, okay. Oh boy.
It looks
Like
That
he might
looks
have
insane.
might need to had to go back to the pain and gain route to bulk back up for this one.
also the wig just like
Yeah, they literally could have just
Yeah.
had Roman Reigns. They could have just said Roman. Like you're already a part timer anyway. Like you come be Moana. Like Moana's dad. But like that's a tough look.
Please, The Rock was not going to let anyone else
No,
but him
he
do
was
that.
Oh,
absolutely
true.
not.
That bread was. I'll take that. I'll take that. But no, it's. We'll just go to the Jocks text line because there were a lot of people that were there were a few people that were kind of in your favor, just like, oh, okay, we understand, Conrad. They were actually going back to your lineage. They were bringing that up because we brought up Kurt Angle, and they were like, well, we know he doesn't know who Kurt Angle is because Kurt Angle won the gold medal.
I was
for the
born in
US.
America. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, so were the kids of the people on the show, The Americans. They were born in America, but that didn't stop them from becoming wretched sleeper cells.
You were born in Memphis?
I was born in Memphis. Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
I mean, I was born there and then we moved.
Yeah, I moved in
Very quickly, but yes.
So you didn't stay there for a while? You
No,
just-
no,
okay.
I do not have memories of 6-month-old Conrad in Memphis.
Oh, you were already out of there.
Yeah, no, we moved to outside of Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody texted in and says that had to be one of the funniest segments ever with the wrestling talk. Thanks for an absolutely wonderful laugh this morning.
I'm glad that I could entertain and Damien and Saber could poke fun at me.
It was just shocking. It really was.
Okay, I've had multiple people text us. Yes, I know who Ric Flair is.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
But before
the song, I knew who
Okay.
Ric Flair was.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you know Goldberg too, don't you?
that was a sitcom, wasn't it, Saber? The Goldbergs.
It was, yes, but no, not what we're talking about.
You have no idea who Bill Goldberg is.
Let me see if a picture will jog the old memory. Oh yeah.
This is interest music. Usually when Cole gets ticked off, that's what we play.
Were him and Ric Flair like nemesis or nemesis?
They were separated by some years, and I honestly don't even think they even had a match.
Okay.
Honestly,
Well, I
and
just
to
didn't know
be
the way you
honest,
talked about it. I
it
didn't know
wouldn't
if
be
there was
good.
like a connection there.
It wouldn't have been good if they did have a match because
Not
he
really,
used to
no.
he used to just spear people and get them out the way. Then he had the jackhammer.
What's the jackhammer? Is that the elbow? I feel like a lot of them involve an elbow.
I don't know what
Like
this-
very few involve an elbow.
Like the people's elbow. That's one of the Rock's signature moves.
Macho Man had the
He had the flying elbow.
yeah.
So do they get to make up their own moves, or are they like assigned?
I don't think it's a sign. I think you can make
can
up
kinda-
your
yeah,
own.
You get to be creative
yeah,
and
you
come
be
up with your
creative.
own. I'm learning a lot, honestly.
That's
I didn't know there were script writers. Like, I thought they played rock, paper, scissors backstage and said, all right, you'll win this one, then I'll win the next one. And
to be honest, like some of the matches kind of seem like that.
yeah.
So there's a couple.
It's like when, Jerry Judy and Waddle and Ruggs, they'd go play rock, paper, scissors and figure out who was going to run what route.
that's understanding the
Because
system.
they were just all,
that's understanding the system. as
yeah,
a
they were
receiver.
locked in.
Absolutely.
Those were the good days.
Somebody texted in and said Goldberg is still the man. I never thought he was that like great of a wrestler. I mean, he was just strong. Like
He wasn't. He messed up Bret Hart.
I mean, he still hates him.
Yeah.
Like Bret Hart, real deal. Not just the wrestling part of it. Like he does not like that man.
This is on site
at all. It is hate. Like certified blank Bill Goldberg every time he sees him. Every time
he played for Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
He hit like he did. Like, I mean, now the spear was crazy. But the fact that you can still find a way to mess it up was even worse.
Yeah, defensive tackle. That sounds about right, based on what you're saying.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Every bit of it. CJ texted in. He says, Damian, there has never been a wrestler that was more tougher than Shawn Michaels. I don't disagree. You know who Sting is?
The singer. That was the one that Phoebe Buffay wanted to meet in Friends, right?
Whew. Well, actually, she tried to.
She tried to have the fake kid or something like that
correct,
to meet Sting.
Yeah. Stingson. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, when I Google Sting, the musician comes up before the. Oh, yeah. I know the face paint. Okay, yeah.
Way to save it.
That's what gave it away.
I've seen that before. I've seen him before in the face paint. Yeah.
Hey, I am.
Do a lot of them do the face paint? I feel like
Not really.
Not
No.
really.
No.
Sting, the Ultimate Warrior, the Boogeyman for a time.
You did.
That's about all I really know with the face paint. Jeff Hardy would do it on occasion, but like because we were talking during the break and I was saying something about the Swanton Bomb and you were just like, "What does that even mean?" I was just like, "Wow." Like he did not care about his own body. Like he would put it on the line for our entertainment.
Yeah, that sounds like
A football player.
sure.
No, but like the things he would do in the ring, like
Or Khalifa. Yeah.
yeah, like whisper in the wind. That was one of his moves. He was athletic, man. Like
What is that? Is that the Roy Hibbert?
No.
Is that where Roy Hibbert got that from? Is that what that is? No. In your ear?
That's it.
Thought that was flavor in your ear.
Flavor in you. But no, it was just it was the move that he would do. His brother Matt Hardy used to have the twist of fate. Matt by far was not the better wrestler.
Okay.
He was not.
So he leaned into comedy later. He
right.
knew.
He
Yeah. He's
started
like,
getting
I
to
got
the
to be
gimmick.
funny.
But Jeff he had some off the field issues as well.
Yeah, seems like a couple of these guys maybe had some.
But it's not as many
He
as
was the maybe Josh Gordon of
Yeah.
Oh,
wrestling.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't. Nobody would really know until there was like one specific match of okay, like this is a problem. Like
Oh, like he's just not.
yeah,
He's not there.
Nah, he's not there. Like nobody would have ever known, or actually, a lot of people would have known because of some of the moves that he would do in the ring. It's like there's no way he doesn't feel a lot of this thing. Like they call.
Well, that's my thing. I'm like, it probably helps with the pain. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, but he was great. He was great. Edge was good.
I know. I love you too, man.
Yeah,
He's a great
Absolutely.
guitar player.
But Randy Orton, he's my favorite. Him and Edge are like my two. Those are mine.
Okay.
But it's funny though, like so you know who Triple H is though, like
Yes.
you know what the pedigree is, like his signature move.
Nope.
Do you know what Stone Cold's signature move is?
Does it involve the beer cans?
Whew.
So like when you were like play wrestle with your buddies or fight with your buddies, like y'all didn't hit any of these moves on each other. Like you didn't hit anybody with the.
No, we just tried to hurt each other.
Oh, y'all really was out there duking it out. Like you were more of a boxer.
Oh yeah, no, we see. Okay, so like when we were growing up, we had boxing gloves, and we'd hit each
see,
other.
Okay, so you was on that Manny Pacquiao. Like
Yeah, no, we hit each other in the face. Yeah.
Whew.
Like there were multiple times where we would have like, yeah, it'd get out of hand, and like parents would have to be like, all right, we got to chill out because like, yeah, like you're all trying to hurt each other. Like, well, yeah, like we love each other, but like, yeah, I'm trying to hurt
For
you.
sure.
Trying to hurt you.
But I think that's why like the wrestling was like you didn't know what moves really hurt until you were like in them or done. Like, they were done to you. And also like I can understand that some of the scripted stuff because Rey Mysterio does the 619, and no other time in a wrestler's, I guess you'd say, career will you ever land on the second rope you will just never land on the second rope, but you will when you face Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Now that did take a little bit of time for me to really process as I got older of just, I've noticed that the only time they ever land in this situation is when they're facing Rey Mysterio. And for The Rock, or like for Shawn Michaels, for example, he would load up the fiddle for the Sweet Chin Music. You know, if you're wrestling, you're already on the ground and you hear him just start to stomp and stomp
and the crowd cheering, you know what that means.
Yeah, you know what it means.
Yeah.
And no, it just never clicked. John Cena used to have he had the same move, but he had to change the name over the years.
Okay, see, that was gonna be my question: was there ever a point where like two wrestlers had the same move, but they just called it something different?
Oh yeah,
and you just acted like it was something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so this is the generational difference, because I would have this conversation that the RKO was like one of the best finisher moves, and they're like, oh, well, he got that from Diamond Dallas Page, which was the cutter.
Diamond cutter.
Yeah, the diamond cutter, which is essentially the same move, except Randy Orton jumps. It's essentially the exact same thing. It's just he jumps.
DDP did a little bit too, but Randy was always just be coming out of nowhere and then would get the guy. Yeah, and in essence, I mean, also the diamond cutter is also the Stone Cold Stunner, just going down instead of out. Right.
Yeah. So you know what the figure 4 is?
No. Is that where they got your leg up in the? I don't know.
What happens when you?
I don't know. They wrap you up like a pretzel, but you're like in the number. You're in the number 4.
To be honest, you're not wrong.
No, no. It kind of looks like maybe 2 pairs of scissors a little bit, but.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, is that the one where they're like?
I mean, like Ric Flair, like he'll grab one guy's leg, like kind of twist around, pull the other guy's leg kind of across like that, and then come down on it to where, it's hurting.
This is what y'all watched?
No, listen, Ric Flair was already a classic by the time I was watching. I was glad, Shawn Michaels had to put him out of his misery, because there were years it's like, why is he even continuing doing this? But he would do. Do you know what a frog splash is?
What? No. Does it involve water? I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest. If we explain what a tombstone pile driver is, he'd probably be like, all right, what are we doing?
Well, half the videos I saw, they're holding the dude up like upside down. I'm just like, this is?
I mean, you got to put him out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I think there's another way. Teach their own.
You're going to sleep one way or the other. How do you want it?
Absolutely.
Nobody wins in that one, it seems like, but The
Undertaker usually does. He had a WrestleMania streak that went for what, 23, I think. 23.
Yeah, felt like it.
And Brock Lesnar broke it. He broke the streak, man. WrestleMania 30.
Then he went to UFC.
No, this is actually when he came back from
the Will Wade of wrestling.
That's
both had off-field issues. Yeah. I don't know.
Indirectly, Conrad. That's actually a good comparison.
I don't know if Will Wade has a weird.
9:55 here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damian Conrad and John here with you. Got one more day. We'll be back tomorrow recapping the first 4 games of the Sweet 16. As Molly Robinson, she is one excited girl as her Nebraska Cornhuskers will be taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. But everything starts up tonight at 6:10 with Texas and Purdue. And again, following that, Iowa, Nebraska. Then we have Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, and Houston. That is the first 4 games we are getting tonight. Conrad, your New York Yankees are 1-0 to start the season.